Welcome to WagerTalk TV. Man, the outtakes of this show would be absolute gold. I am Kelly Stewart, Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, joined by Gil Alexander. I'm super excited. Gil's first time here, at least with me, at Beating the Book on Twitter. Marco D'Angelo, you guys know this guy. He's the one that dresses up like Santa and, you know, is here every week, so he's really not that exciting. All right, let's talk about Super Bowl betting props. Marco, I'll start with you. Give our viewers some tips, some insight, maybe some strategy on how you approach Super Bowl props.
Well, I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts. And just start with, don't tie all of your props to one team. Because if you're completely...
Or to maybe one outcome.
Yeah. If you're wrong on your handicap, then you're going to be wrong, as opposed to if you bet the Rams or the Patriots and you lose one single bet, but you got everything geared to that same thing, you could end up having a very, very bad day. The other thing to do is don't gear everything to an over or an under. Mix it up. And the reason for that is because if the game, you might have a stone cold under, and with everything you bet, and through the first half, you're just selling. And all of a sudden, one of the teams gets behind by 14 points. And changes their entire game plan.
Right, because they're not rushing the ball anymore. Now
all of a sudden, you're throwing on every down, and it kills, you know, under props. And on the same token, you can have an over that if a team gets a big lead that you were thinking was going to do well, and all of a sudden they put the brakes on and start running the football, that's going to kill your under. So just like you would do with your stock portfolio, have diversity in what you're doing. Spread your stuff around so that you're not geared to one outcome.
All right, Gil. I mean, you could just say, yeah, what Marco said, or you can give me just
partially
kidding.
What Marco said.
Yeah,
I think that's a good baseline. I'll be honest with you, it's very simple. I am just looking for bad numbers.
Okay.
And it's very straightforward. And that has become more and more difficult to be able to, in a quick period of time, isolate those bad numbers. If my online account is not funded, the trip over to wherever that shop is,
the line's long, it's a nightmare.
William Hill is where I usually am able to exploit them. If you're not there the first half hour, it's over. It really is now, because there's a lot of smart people. You think you're the only, you know, oh, I figured it out, no one else did. Smart people have figured it out. And there were at least, and I literally, this is a commentary on getting old, I literally slept through when William Hill opened them this year. Because they don't announce when they're throwing them out.
Oh, unlike Westgate, that puts on a big production.
Westgate, 7 p.m. So William Hill, you don't know what's coming out. So I'm sleeping, and I wake up to all these texts like, oh, they've been out for 3 hours. I'm like, oh, no. So I was so I got there 4 hours after release. I was probably 3.5 hours too late, and I isolated 8 different props there that I thought had value. Every single one of them had either I was correct and it had moved in the direction that I thought it would. 2 of them were so bad that they had taken them off the board. One of which did come back, and I was able to bet, which I'll talk to you about.
Gil, don't you remember Gordon Gekko said money never sleeps? You're
I'm not going to lie. I slept yesterday during the middle of college basketball. I had such a great morning, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do this. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, great, I saved myself a loser by taking a nap. So maybe Gil, you know, just snooze through a couple
losers. Usually you sleep through winners. You don't sleep through losers.
You know what?
I wish it worked that way.
All right, Marco, I'm going to let you start with some bets you either personally prop bets you either personally bet or you're going to bet.
Okay, well, here's the ones. These were current lines as of last night at
By the way, this is Monday morning.
Yes.
Super Bowl's on Sunday, so lots of time to change, but current lines at the Westgate last night, you said?
Late last night as I was working, as you saw what time I sent you my notes. I've got Brady over 26.5 completions, and the reason for that is I do not believe they're going to be able to run the football. I believe that what they're going to do, because that is the strength of the Rams, is that defensive line and with the pressure. And they want to slow that pass pressure down. And the way to do that, and I go back to, I've seen it so many times against my Pittsburgh Steelers, but what Belichick's game plan would be is he would go with 4 and 5 wide. That slows the pass rush down because you can't bring people on blitzes and so forth. A lot of short passing, but it keeps things moving. It's almost like an extended running game with the short passing game. So I think he's going to get a lot of completions. That's why I have over the 26.5. So if I'm going over on completions, I'm also going to go over on attempts. That's basically a correlated number for me on those two. And right now you can get both of those at -110. Team to score first for me. I'm going to go ahead and lay a little bit of juice. You know, this is a 50-50 proposition, but you're laying 120 with it. I'm going to go with New England. And the reason for that is we know New England, that Belichick defers all the time. So
he does, but real quick, this is one thing that I didn't understand about this prop. So if they win the coin flip, they defer.
Yeah.
If the Rams win the coin flip, they're probably also going to defer. So doesn't it kind of come down to who gets the ball first?
Well, in my opinion, I'm looking at it and I'm saying the Rams are going to get the football first.
Okay, so
I think there's a 75% chance that the Rams are going to get the football first. Because we don't know for sure that he will defer. We know Belichick will.
Okay.
That's right.
The situation is, I don't see them marching down the field on their first drive because this is Jared Goff in his the biggest stage he's ever been on. So they're going to have a little bit of a conservative game plan coming out. I don't think they're going to be going deep or anything. So if they get stopped on that first drive, then you've got the Patriots with, scripted plays and everything else. In Belichick, you know how well he prepares for somebody. That's why I think they score first. The other one I'm going to throw out there is Sonny Michel. He's been tearing it up in the last 2 games. Remember, they had big leads as well, so they were feeding the football a lot more. I don't think he goes over the yardage. I've got under 77.5.
All right.
All right, Gil, some of the personal prop plays that you've played or maybe are going to play, some of the other guys alluded to, they might wait till Sunday morning because they know they're betting against the public, so let the public bet it up. You may get some better value on Sunday morning on some of the contrarian
The under
plays.
bet you want to wait till Sunday. Over bet you want to get want to get in.
Just
now.
like anything with totals and stuff. I've actually made all these. The 2 that I've made, I've only made 2 here in town that are football related. One of which I just alluded to earlier, which is one that William Hill had taken off and then they put back on, which is a bet that I made last year as well. No touchback, the no on will there be a touchback on the opening kickoff. That number is at I got it at plus 190. My numbers suggest that should be plus 140. And there's some offshore markets that corroborate that number. They had it plus 139. To Marco's point, because Marco just alluded to how the opening kickoff might go. The Patriots' touchback rate this year is 49.56%. That's the 27th ranked touchback rate. So when Stephen Gostkowski has to kick the ball off, more than 1 out of 2 times, it's a mortar kick. It is not a touchback. So if the Patriots do end up kicking off, and again, they are serial defers, even though they didn't do it the last couple weeks, you're already in good shape with that bet. And if the Rams do happen to kick off, Zerline does touch back the ball a lot more than Gostkowski does. But Cordarrelle Patterson, who we're now pronouncing apparently Cordero Patterson.
I've always told Cordero, but I do Vikings radio every week, so I listen to those guys.
So he's one of these guys who, if the ball's 4 or 5 yards deep in the end zone, he is very liable to take it out anyway. And especially you think about an opening kickoff in a Super Bowl, he would be jacked enough at that
momentum,
point.
right? You want to go out and make a big play.
You would think that would happen. So plus 190 is just a really bad number. Could I lose? Absolutely.
But you're not getting juice out. I mean, you're getting plus money.
Value's value, as I like to say. And for me, that's a ton of value on a bet. And as typical with a shop like that, you're like, how much can I bet on this? Because they put this back out the next day. Oh, how much do you want to bet? As much as you'll take. We'll take it. How much you want? And of course, once you tell them, they're like, we'll take a dime on that.
Exactly. That's usually how it goes. All right, so you said football prop bets. So we know that you're kind of pseudo-famous for non-football prop bets. You hit a Bruno Mars won't wear a hat bet.
Won't wear a hat.
Katy Perry's going to sing Roar. First, which is just super random that you knew that. So
that's what it came out. Pseudo-famous for these. That's what my life has come to, right?
That's it.
You do all these shows and you're like, he's the guy who said no hat on Bruno Mars.
No hat on Bruno Mars. Okay.
You have to ask him how he handicapped that one.
Okay.
That was off the charts.
Okay, now let's hear the story.
Because I am a Bruno Mars dork.
He's great.
And I loved him like years before he became popular. And I tracked him to the point where like I saw his every move. And so I knew a few days earlier he had gone with a pompadour haircut. He had been wearing like a sort of curly, not really an afro, but a sort of curly thing, based on the texture of his hair. But then he went pompadour, and there's no man who's going to get a pompadour 2 days
and then wear a hat
and mess it up. So clearly,
you're like stalking the guy on Instagram stories. He got a haircut, you guys.
It's a little scary. It's a little scary.
But it was like plus 250, and Bovada or somebody had to take it down.
Yeah. Well, I mean. Okay, I like it. All right, so which non-football prop bets are you placing this year?
All right, so I did a few of those.
Okay.
By the way, I also have Tom Brady 60-1 to score first touchdown. I should mention that
Ooh,
also.
okay.
And that's a needle in a haystack bet. There's no.
He's got 2 this year.
Yeah, there's no expectation that he's going to score first, but 60-1 was a number that was way too high, and it's now 30-1. So at least that's gets corroborated. But was that going to take a PI in the end zone and then Michelle not to score twice and whatever, and then a sneak? Gladys Knight under 110 seconds. National anthem under 1 minute and 50 seconds.
I mean, this woman has some pipes.
She does.
So I feel like that's why it's juiced to the over -140.
She has pipes, but I suggest to you that she is not of this generation like Beyonce or Alicia Keys that likes to take every note and make an opera out of it. Gladys is just going to sing it through like it's meant to be sung. There is one sort of evidence of her singing a national anthem on YouTube in the early 90s where it was like 132. So give me 18 more seconds, I'm going under.
Okay, I like it.
That's -110. And then Maroon 5. Kelly, I have done extensive Maroon 5 research. I have scoured the internet for their set lists. And I told this on a numbers game on VSIN this morning, 7 to 9 Pacific, 10 to noon Eastern, Monday through Friday, that 37 different concert performances their set lists have been logged for Maroon 5. 37 since the end of May of 2018. 37 out of 37 times, 100% of the time, they have started their concerts with What Lovers Do. Now, does that mean that they'll do it during a Super Bowl, which is the biggest stage they'll ever be on in their careers? No, they could switch it up.
Okay, so here's my question. Don't bookmakers have the exact same access to this? So is What Lovers Do juiced?
No, What Lovers Do is not even listed in some of these. In fact, I haven't even seen it there's a field bet available.
I was going to ask if there's ability to bet the field bet.
Yeah, like plus 340, but there's some that don't even offer a field bet and it's just not even available. So, and here's the thing with these, we'll know like rehearsal late this week, Friday, it'll get out what they're starting with. So this will see what moves on Friday.
So I need to call my friends who are in Atlanta and be like, I need you guys there during practice.
That's correct. That's exactly what you do.
That's perfect.
What Lovers Do, Marco? You know that one. Sing it.
No.
Marco does not know that song. Marco, do you have anything else to add? I'm getting the wrap it up about 7 minutes ago.
I'll throw one last prop out. Jared Goff under 285.5 passing yards. As I said, I think they're going to run the football more this week than we've seen in the past.
All right, great stuff from both guys. Make sure you give them both a follow at Beating the Book and at Marco in Vegas. And Gil plugged his, I guess he has a radio show or something. Anyway, $9 Monday at WagerTalk. All daily packages for Monday's action, plus early college basketball, NHL, and NBA priced at only $9. That includes any 5% best bets, normally priced at $30.